Toryukin had whack commentary. In what way? The thing about listening to Canadian commentary, I will never not laugh when I hear Canadians say like any of Yipes' phrases or anything like that in their accent. It just cracks me up. Hearing Mango Sentinel in a French Canadian accent will actually curse you. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. Sentinel, could you imagine that? It's about to be Sentinel last. Wins Marvel, eh? It's about to be bus ass. I was listening to the top 8 of Street Fighter. There was definitely an Aboot there that cracked me up. Or not an Aboot, it was, or an A. There was something, the way something was pronounced, out maybe? He had to say like he gets out of the corner, and the way they hit it, it just cracked. It gave me a nice little chuckle. He's got to watch out for the cabeza there. What's going on? That Yipes line is my favorite Yipes line. That's just too good. Yeah. The thing is that this happens I've talked about this on my channel a million times. A tournament event will happen. After it's over, people will come to my chat and they'll say, I hated everything about this tournament's commentary. These dweebs from Canada were just not doing the right job. And I'm like, it'd be like that. They're trying their best. And not only that, I'm sure there was someone out there who really enjoyed their commentary. I thought it was fine. I didn't mute it. That's a good sign. If I muted the commentary, then sorry. You guys didn't make the cut. But yeah, I listened to the Toryukin top 8, and I thought it was fine. I feel like usually when people watch those players, they're used to the normal voices they always hear. So anybody stepping in is going to struggle there. It doesn't matter who you are. People are going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? You have to have realistic expectations about, like, what these commentators are going to do. It's not like they're going to jump on there and be professionals. They haven't done a million years of it. Yeah, if you want to hear an example of what commentary sounds like, at most places, you should watch High Fight's local recap. And I think you'll realize pretty quickly that, just like everybody else, people around the world are trying to get better at commentary. And a thing like Toryukin with lots of people watching is a great chance for those commentators to get practice with super high-level players in front of a big audience. And not only that, but I'm sure people will talk shit, and then they can be like, all right, what do I need to improve? So they sit down and they figure it out, and they're like, all right, I thought they did a great job. As a commentator trying to grow, what do you do when the person you're paired with is an unproductive commentator? Someone who's negative and opinionated? Ignore them. Well, it depends. If it's a local event, they probably don't care, and they probably are just being a shithead or whatever. You can navigate around them or commentate around them by just ignoring the things they say that are negative and focusing on the match and the cool stuff that's happening. If they're a really good player and they're on the mic talking shit about worse players, then they're probably a shithead anyway. If they're not a really good player and they're talking shit about people at their locals that are better than them, then, like, what the hell are you doing on the mic anyway? Like, hey, bitch, this guy knocked you out of the tournament. Why are you talking shit about his combos? His combos kicked your ass 10 minutes ago and sent you out 0-2, bitch. Anyway, nice anti-air. Don't engage with it if it's stupid. Only engage with them when they say things that are relevant and interesting. They'll either get the hint or they'll sound like an idiot. They'll pick their poison. These issues are issues that I've had in the past, but these days it doesn't really happen as much for me, right? When I get hired for events, they usually always put me with people who are like commentators, and they do lots of commentary. Or they put me with someone who like is interested in doing commentary and really wants to because they applied for a big tournament, So like they're there because they want to commentate and they love the game they're doing. So the thing about Eris is that he's done so much solo commentary now that like I feel like when he's with other people, it's like a nuisance to him, right? He's like, shut the fuck up over there. I'm trying to talk about what I want to talk about, There's all these like guidelines that are useful for when you're commentating an event. Aris does not, none of those apply to him. He is just his own force of nature that is completely separate from the rest of the equation. You can't solve for Aris. It's not a thing you do. He just does what he's going to do, and it's whatever happens, happens. You're kind of along for the ride a lot of the times. And the people who have the most success with him are people that have known him a long time, so they know to talk shit and hang out with him and relax back, or people like Markman, who, Markman's just Markman. The Aris Andre show, yeah. Aris is a special exception to a lot of rules. When Pirates of the Caribbean, Barbossa says the Pirates Code, it's more like a set of guidelines. That's kind of how it is here. To Eris, it's more like a set of guidelines than actual rules. Make some noise. I love that shit. I love that make some noise has become a contention point. Eris is like, you motherfuckers better not make some noise. And then he said something like, people don't like it when you guys do that. Boom, 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 boom. He's like, people don't like it when you do that shit. You know that? And Rip said, yes, they do. They just don't like it because you say you don't like it and you tell people not to like it. This is definitely true. Eris saying these guys are fucking morons for doing this shit in his chat will make all of them be like, yeah, these guys are fucking morons for doing this shit. And then Eris said something like, well, what? I talk shit about you. Does that mean people don't like you because of that? And Rip's like, yes. And Eris was like, really? He's like, no. It was really funny to me because it's definitely true. So should he take responsibility for his community? Well, he doesn't have to give a shit. But, you know, that's how it is. I mean, you know, if I come in my chat all the time and I say something all the time, it's going to influence how you guys think about shit, you know? It's like when he says, you know, this small talk shit is the worst. They have to do all this small talking over here to fill time. This is bad. And then you see people in the chat like, man, this small talk is so bad. Like, blah, blah, this small, blah. It's like, okay, first of all, it's not the commentator's fault. If we're small talking, it's because somebody else fucked up and there's no match. Right? And second of all, small talking makes a lot of funny moments a lot of the times too, as long as the people small talking are good. But I don't remember. Steve, that's a classic Steve noise though. You know what's funny is if you go back and listen to like Curly West and some of the other events that Steve did for Marvel early on, I think you'll realize pretty quickly like how many things Steve said on Marvel commentary that stuck with people because it was so funny. Yeah, he's just naturally very hyped. To be honest with you, he's just like that as a human being. Like, we'll go get food somewhere, and we'll be looking at the menu, and then Tasty will be like, oh shit, this place got nachos? Done. And he just like looks at his phone, because he like knows what he wants to eat now. But it's like, how did you get so excited about nachos? He is a very lovable human being, for sure. If you ever see Steve in an event and you're a fan, you should go say hi. I will recommend Steve as a person to go say hi to. He has great strategies for dealing with people who are nervous to say hi. Is there anybody I wouldn't recommend going up and saying hi to? Aris, if you're going to be weird. You got to come up, hi, get your picture and everything. All right, man, big fan later. Rat Pack says, I saw you in a pizza shop one night at Capcom Cup 2017 in Anaheim. I started to say something, got scared, and walked away. Why don't you just say hi, man? I would have been like, hey, what up? How's it going? You know anything about this pizza place? What the fuck should I order? The smug energy? Nah, dude, just come up and say, you're in my stream all the time too. Just come up and say what's good. Anytime I see you, you're literally running to go do something. That is very typical. If I'm running somewhere, I'm bouncing and you're like, hey, what up? Can I get a picture? Can I talk to you real quick? If I say no, it's an absolute emergency. I would only say no if it's like 5:55 and I'm commentating at 6. But if I have time, I will always stop and talk. It has to be a dire situation for me not to say what up, you know? Just come say what's good.